Hey everyone. All right, so part of the interesting thing about essential oils is that there seems to be a lot of rules. Okay. Yes, but if you know the rules, then you can better break the rules. And as an artist and growing up around an illustrator and painter pretty much my whole life, I was taught that the great artists, the ones that just look like a child could have done it, right? Like Pollock, where you're like, oh please, I could do that. Just know, no you can't, and here's why. He understood the rules. He trained, he knew art, he knew how to draw. Like these are things that artists, when they know the rules, they're better equipped to break the rules, or they might have good reason to break the rules. So I get a lot of interesting comments on like, why can't you touch the orifice reducer? And I think that it stems from the fact that most people feel like this is getting like a much smaller amount, which it is, right? So, all right, great, get it. Roller balls, great, easier to use. However, oxidative stress is a real thing, and when we talk about our essential oils never expire, that is true to some degree. However, oxidation, meaning anything in there that's going to cause the oil to become oxidized, get some oxygen, meaning the levels of oxygen, or adding contaminants in there that's going to potentially spoil the oil, was always a consideration 10, 11, 12, and beyond years ago, where we would talk about do not touch the orifice reducer simply because you've got skin cells, like they're called epithelials, you've got grease and other contaminants, potentially makeup on your face, you know, on your fingers, potentially, don't worry about germs, right? But potentially just junk, just from, I don't know, dirt from gardening, whatever. Clearly we're not like big, messy, gross people, but at any given time, our hands are constantly touching things, and it's constantly touching our face. So when you do this with your oil, you're getting oil on your finger and transferring your tiny little molecules of garbage back into the oil bottle. So people will say, it's just not enough to worry about. Really, Jen? It's just not enough to worry about. Okay, that's totally cool. Go ahead and do that. I have no problem with you doing that, and I know a lot of people do this, you know, and it's fine. But here's my thought, is that whenever I use roller balls and I make small batches, or if I make too much, if I make like half a bottle worth, I will notice after about 2 or 3 weeks of using it continually every single day, the oil, if I hold it up to the light, the less amount that's in there, because I've used a lot of it, is murky. Now, will that change your oil? Sort of. It changes the effective frequency. It changes the molecular structure slightly, not a whole lot, but it does contaminate it. So I'm not interested in that. So I'm going to help you guys kind of understand that when you know the rules, so now you know the rules, like you're slightly contaminating your oils, how to break them. And it's totally okay, right? Like, I really feel like some people think I'm just like, don't ever touch your tongue, you know, no, okay? But what I'm saying is, I respect the purity of our product so much that I'm willing to go overboard and say to people, just don't touch the orifice reducers. If we don't have enough time to explain it, I'm just gonna tell you, just don't do it, right? Sometimes you know what to say to your child and you don't have enough time to fully explain it, and so you just say, don't do that. Please just don't cross the road right now. There's too much traffic, right? You don't even have time to say that. Just don't cross the road. Stop. So I think the baby got thrown out with the bathwater, and a lot of people have assumed that I am this kind of oil Nazi. Anyhow, not true. So I'm going to teach you what to do. This was an empty, all right? What I want you to consider is, rather than taking a very expensive bottle of sacred frankincense or rose, right, or Melissa, and because Melissa is so expensive and rose is so expensive, you're just gonna touch the top of it because that's all you want and that's all you need because it's super strong. You're contaminating it. So what you want to do is get a fresh, clean bottle, or a bottle with the same, that had the same oil in it. So this one is an older bottle of frankincense, and this is a newer bottle of frankincense. I opened it, I took the cap off, and I'm adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fine. 5 to 10 drops. Now, I can contaminate this, and I don't care. Right? Because it's not contaminating the whole. And I'm going to use this real fast. This is not something that you're going to have for months because it has too much oxygen in it. So you don't want that either. So now this, I can do whatever I want, you know, get just a little bit out and whatever, touch it. Okay. So I keep getting that question though, like, what if I just use a little bit and I want to use a little bit? Okay. The other thing though is you can pull from the side. Oftentimes you have quite a bit of residual on the sides, and it's not going to pull as much. The oils are volatile. They're still going to pull, meaning if I had a dirty finger and I went like this, it's going to pull some of that in, but not as much. So you can go off of the side. So oftentimes, and you guys may have seen me do this, but oftentimes I'll take a bottle of something, drip it in my hand, and then do this. I'm literally twirling on the side of my hand, because the side of our hands typically aren't super dirty, our fingers are more, and I'm pulling off the excess, especially with myrrh. It gets really, really like, you know, gross. But now I've got that. So good. And I'm going to rub this on the back of my neck and the front of my neck, whatever, okay? Sacred frankincense, such a good one. So, but that's going to help me not contaminate my oils. And I still touched it. I touched the orifice reducer. I totally touched it on this one because it only has 5 drops in it, right? So transfer. Keep your empties. I literally have a box of empties. However, the box is kind of light now because for Christmas I made a Christmas tree with literally the only ornaments were bottles. It's awesome. You'll see it at Christmas this year. So it's something to remember that if you know the rules, you can break them. Another one is blending blends. Again, I'm just saying a general rule of thumb is if you don't necessarily know what you're doing, you might not want to blend too many blends, or you might want to blend and then bump with a single. Use a blend and then bump it with a single and a couple other singles, whatever. However, again, a lot of people are not super happy with that because it feels kind of like rigid. It feels like, well, I want to play. And absolutely, like, go ahead. I think that playing with our essential oils and being like Harry Potter and mixing and messing up and trying again and starting and then finding this beautiful, like, weird magical blend that you've come up with is really fun, and it's really gratifying, and it's exciting. The thing is, though, again, because I respect these oils, I personally get nervous about being too crazy because I don't want to ruin them. I don't want to like make some really cool concoction only to find out that I like jacked it so bad because I added 10 blends of blends and 16 singles, and I'm not Gary Young, and so I don't know exactly all of the constituents and how they synergistically work or don't work with each other, and now I've created this Frankenstein oil that really doesn't work well, and it's not savable. You see what I'm saying? So now it's kind of like I've just wasted all those oils that are like precious to me. So when I talk about the 3 or 5 or 7, it's not that blends should only have 3 or 5 or 7. That's a general rule of thumb in the aromatherapy industry that they talk about, that there's usually more interesting action happening when blends are made with odd numbers. But that's not saying that if you see an oil that has 32 oils in it, or it's 5 different blends of oils mixed into one, that it's wrong. It's not. It's that whoever made that knew what they were doing. They were Picasso, who knew what he was doing, and then he made crazy work that was like, what? Okay, very interesting, right? So that's where I want you guys to remember that I don't want you to limit yourself. I do want to caution you, though, again, from anyone who's played and messed up knows how heartbreaking that is, but that's part of learning as well. And that's the beauty and joy of learning as we go along. I learn from my mistakes, and why I teach the way I do is because I really don't want anyone to make the same mistakes I have, because I've kind of messed up on some things. like straight up messed up on some things. So, know the rules, then break them. And break them. Have fun. I mean, my kid, I think moms hate it when I'm like, oh yeah, I'll watch your kid. Because I'm like, yeah, dive off the furniture. Like, you'll be fine. Or yeah, like, you know the moms who freak out about the kids, like I'm watching them right now. They've got their body boards and they put it on the side of the thing and they slide across. And all of us moms just envision our child falling back and slamming their head on the side of the pool. All of us have done that. So we all say, no, you're not doing that. Sorry, try again. I'm the mom that's like, let's teach you the right way to break that rule. So I need you to get a running start, and I need you to make sure it's not slippery right there, and I need you to make sure that that bodyboard is facing straight. And then when you go, I want you to go and I want you to own it. I want you to jump on that board and I want you to lean forward. Don't lean back, lean forward. Good, done. No problems, ever. And there's no chance of him ever falling back and hitting his head. But again, that's how I parent, which some parents are like, ah, right? But again, I feel like it's great joy as human beings to break the rules if we know how to break them. And you're breaking them in the right way. All right? Okay, so a question that I just saw was, can you layer blends like Thieves and say Purification? Yes. But the best way to do it is to realize that Thieves has this beautiful synergy. Like one that every single company has tried to copy and have come maybe kind of close to, but really not. Thieves has its own action. So what we want to do is not chase too closely. You want to say, put Thieves on to help your immune support. Let's say I'm putting it on the bottom of my feet, put it on, then kind of hang out for at least 3 minutes or walk around. It's fine. It's not going to get your carpet dirty. Or put your socks on, walk around, do the rest of your thing, then take your socks off like 10 minutes later and put your Purification on to help with your stinky feet. You see? So there's things that you can do for layering that works a little bit different if you're using blends. So I'm not interested in taking a blend, putting it on, taking another blend, putting it on, and just like go, 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 because now I'm creating a Frankenstein blend, right? You want your body to pull it in, your cells start to use it. You know, 3 to 10 minutes is good. You don't need to wait the full 20 minutes, but just consider that kind of layering. I also layer in a little bit different way. So if I'm going to put Purification on the bottom of my feet, and then I'm going to use Abundance, because my team is doing an abundance challenge right now. We heard that from one of the diamond leaders at convention, and I'm like, it's awesome. So every month we're doing a challenge, and we're starting with abundance. All of us are using abundance every single day. But I kind of put it on my feet mostly, but then I want to have the Purification on my feet, right? Because I don't want any stinky feet. And so I lately have been putting abundance on my wrist, right on my blood vein. Like I can see the vein, and I'm just putting it there, and I just stripe it on. Perfect, done. Like I literally do, because abundance is pretty saucy, and it's a color. It has color to it. So, and it's usually always like a little leaky. So I just do this, whoosh, and I'm touching the orifice reducer, but I'm sliding it on. And it's not a super pricey oil. So to me, I feel like that's fine. It's going on. I do my like abundance thought process that we've decided to do based on what they need. Like I am abundant in joy, or I am abundant in gratitude, whatever that is. So really, really fun. And that's, I will layer at different parts of my body. So then I would put Stress Away on the back of my neck, you see, so, or lavender, lemon, and peppermint here. I'm putting them on my body in different places where I feel like they'll go in a different area and they'll do their thing, but they're gonna kind of like eventually meet up, right? That's how it works. So it's super fun, break the rules. There's all sorts of things that you guys can do. I oftentimes will use a blend first and then chase it. So I'll put like Panaway on my shoulder, rub it in, give it a couple seconds, like 30 to 60 second rub. Then I'll add Copaiba, rub it in, give it a little bit time to kind of chase that peppermint in, or excuse me, chase the Panaway in. And then I will add lavender, rub it in. This is layering with a blend though, because we started with Panaway. Let that lavender do its thing, chase it in 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and then end with peppermint, which is gonna drive all those oils in even deeper. Chase it in, rub it on, and then case it meaning you case it over, like you're putting a case on it, of carrier oil. So whatever carrier oil you like coconut oil or something like that. Cool? Good stuff. Know the rules and then break them. Happy day. Bye, guys.